Hello everyone, this is Dumisani Lingamangali Ngube, commonly known as the Radical Entrepreneur. And today I'll be addressing a topic that seems to be trending in Zambia at the moment. For those that follow what happens in Zambia, you know that debt restructuring is a discussion everywhere. It is for a reason that our government has managed to restructure our debt. So we have many people clapping for our president and our government for having managed to restructure our debt. Then on the other hand, we have some that are saying, no, it makes no sense because either way, we would still have to pay the debt. So we can't celebrate one who is running away from paying debt. So I'll try to simplify debt restructuring so that everyone understands. So quickly, let me indicate that despite being an entrepreneur, my qualification undergraduate is accountants. I'm a chartered accountant, and debt restructuring sits mainly under accountants. So accountants are the ones that work on the numbers and to restructure debt ideally. So this is my profession. I'm a chartered accountant, undergraduate, master's. I did business administration. Then for my PhD, I'm doing business management, and I have specialized in entrepreneurship and innovation. So this topic is not far off from my skills in terms of knowledge. But what I'll be able to do at this particular moment is to simplify it so that everyone gets to understand what debt restructuring means and what are the benefits and what are the demerits of debt restructuring. So quickly, here's the simplification. I'll give it as an example in my business, how I found myself restructuring debt. So quickly, 2014, I registered a company called DLN Technologies. And in this company, since I couldn't register it alone, I called on 2 other people to come in. So I got 80%, I gave my young brother 10%, and I gave my very good friend 10%. So I had 80% and these 2 guys at 10-10. Great. And the direction for the company was that we want to be printing ID cards on PVC material. Because for those of you who might remember back then, our ID cards in universities and colleges were printed on a plain paper, then they would put a passport size photo, then they would laminate on it. But the world was moving towards a PVC card, which is like a driver's license card. So some universities were still behind, others were catching up. So I thought of being a part of that change. So the plan was for us to be printing ID cards. So quickly, 2015, we got a deal. The first client that we had was Chalimbana University, and they printed 3,000 cards, and we made, some good money. But in that period, I realized that universities and colleges and organizations were moving from contracting people to print for them towards them buying machines, because it was cheaper for them to buy a machine and do the printing internally. It was a lot cheaper that way than to contract another person to print for them. So quickly I said, okay, fine, instead of printing for these organizations, let me find a way of buying these machines so that I can be supplying to these organizations. So quickly I managed to convince the manufacturers. So the first manufacturers were in France and later on those in the USA. So I convinced the manufacturers. So as we are moving from 2015 going towards 2016, one of the universities was interested in these machines, and that was the University of Zambia. Now, I had a problem. The working capital that I had was not enough for me to then order the machines for the university and the consumables for the university. So I thought of getting a loan, but you see how difficult it is to get loans locally. So what I then opted to do, I contacted my auntie, who is in the diaspora. She's in Canada. Then I told her, say, Mom, I call her Mom. Yeah. So Mom, there is this brilliant business idea. I've registered this company and, we can make money. And this is how we are going to make money. So what I need is an investment. So give me 300,000. I'll give you 30% of DLN Technologies, because I have valued this company at 1 million. So you give me 300,000, you get 30%. So quickly, she was excited with what I said. So she advances about 160,000 kwacha. So she's remaining with about 140,000 to clear off her 30%. But after advancing this 160,000, it seems she had conversations with others too, who are then questioning, you are paying 300,000 for 30%. What does this company own? Now, at that point, so then she questions me, what does this company own? I said, no, we just have a paper printer, which is worth like 5,000 kwacha. And what else did we have? Because the vehicle that I was using a Toyota Allion. It was my personal vehicle. And the offices where we were operating from, it was from my house. So the sitting room was like the office for the company. So really the company didn't have assets. So then they're saying, no, but why are you paying 300,000 for the company that doesn't really have assets? No, this is a loss. No, it can't work that way. It is better for you just to give them as debt, the rest of the money, but you pay the percentage based on the assets that the business has. So from her, it made sense because truly the company didn't have assets. But on my side, I was explaining to her to say, no, the company doesn't have assets. What you are paying for is the idea. I have the idea that can make money, and I know how we can make money. And I know the manufacturers of these things. I've already secured from that end. And I know the people that can buy these things. So what you are paying for, that 30%, yes, we don't have those assets. But listen, it is an idea. We are going to make money ultimately. You can talk of assets if you are selling off the company and you are breaking it off, then you can say, what is the total assets? And because I'm an accountant, I explained very well on how this thing works. To say you are paying based on the going concern of the business and the potential of the business. And that is why it is valued at 1 million. It is not that it has assets worth 1 million. The assets, yes, they are worth less than 20,000, but you're still paying 300,000 for 30% because the potential that this business has is so huge. But it seems from the other people that she was consulting from, it truly didn't make sense to pay 300,000 for a company that has assets of less than 20,000 and you're getting a very small percentage. So I had questions like, but these other ones, they have 10%, and they didn't put in anything. So I think it doesn't make sense and whatnot. So we agreed amicably that, listen, okay, from the investment that you've done, I pay you back. So we convert that 160 into debt so that I pay you back. Then if you are to agree at a later time, we can re-engage for an investment. So we agreed. But there's a problem. That 160,000, much of it has been used. So we bought a bit of furniture. We are using fuel. We are using what? So that 160 has reduced to 50,000 kwacha only. So that is the amount that I have. So he said, no, listen, I have a 50,000 and I owe you 160,000. So I can't pay you the 160,000 now. But listen, if you get this 50,000, what this means is that the business will close. And you are also going to fail to get your 160,000. So I am going to lose because the business will close. And you are also going to lose because you want to get your money. So here's my request. In as we've converted that 160 into debt, let us discuss. Leave me with this 50,000. I know how to multiply it. I'm going to order this and I'll supply to these guys. Then we'll be able to generate. Then give me 6 months. In 6 months, I'll pay you 160. Then I will add interest to that money. So that's how we agreed. And I understood where she stood. Very powerful woman, a very good woman. From where she actually stood, it made sense to approach the situation that way. Then also from where I stood, I think it also made sense to approach things this way. So fast forward, we agreed 6 months to pay back that money. And she gave me a leeway of about a month or two without paying before I start paying in bits and pieces. That's how we agreed. Fast forward, I ordered the machines from France, supplied UNZA. They paid us. If not mistaken, it should have been around 200 and something thousand. From that money, we had another university that should have been CBU. They got some machines from us as well. We supplied, and that money now went to 450,000 in terms of working capital. Then at the same time, we had ZISC. So the ZISC General Insurance, but then there's Zisk Life. So they contracted us to do some cards. So we did the cards. Then quickly, money was, working capital was now around 600,000. Then first one bank came on and we did the thing. Then we were already over $1 million. In a space of 3 months, our turnover was in excess of $1 million. Then by the time we are getting to the 6 months, I paid her that 160,000 with interest. In fact, I even explained to her to say, you see, what you made was a mistake. Our turnover now has moved this way and this is what you are doing. And fast forward, just that same year, our turnover got into millions and the rest is history. Now, what am I putting across? I restructured that debt. It is not that I went to contract the debt, but circumstances, for me, it was a special case, led me to owing. But after restructuring the debt, I managed to pay her off with interest, and she was, she was okay because she had the interest. And also for me, the business grew and grew to what it has grown to become today. It is coming from that angle. So the growth of this business is stemming from debt restructuring. So what am I putting across? Debt restructuring becomes necessary. In fact, for you to need debt restructuring, it simply means that you are financially distressed. You are choked financially. So what you need is breathing space. I may not give the details of how our debt as a country has been or have been restructured. I may not have those details beforehand. But the fact that they went for debt restructuring, it simply means that they were distressed and they needed to get a breather. So a breather may be necessary. And everyone can restructure their debt. That is extremely important. So let me put it across this way. Those of you that owe people and you keep lying or telling them, say, come tomorrow morning. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Those people keep giving you so much stress. Do you know what you need to do? Sit them down and say, listen, I owe you, I accept, and I'm committed to paying you. But do you know what? I can't pay you tomorrow. I can't pay you next week. I can't pay you this month end because from the way I'm looking at things, it will not be able to work. Listen, I can pay you 3 months from today. That I can confirm to you that 3 months from today, I'll pay you. But the challenge is that we lie. As a result, we are continuously under pressure. But if you said the 3 months, the person will be annoyed. They will not be pleased with you because you've said the 3 months thing. They may be very annoyed, but you know what? The truth is better because you'd have discussed then. And you can even tell them, see, 3 months is when I can pay you. If you want, you can take me to police and I'll be arrested. But listen, I'll be arrested. I'm going to lose the time because I'll be in prison. But at the same time, you are also going to lose your money. So both of us are going to lose. But how about if we waited for 3 months and I know how I'm going to raise this, but I'll raise it this way, then I'll pay you back. At that point, you would have restricted. The person will go annoyed, but at least he will be assured that you pay. Then at the same time, you would have run away from the pressure of always saying, okay, tomorrow, okay, wait. And you look like a proper crook. Like some of you are not really crooks, but you're not just honest. You say tomorrow when you know that tomorrow you have no way of getting that money. Why not just say the truth? To say, listen, I can't afford for now. But listen, I'm committed. I'll do A, B, C, D by such a period so that you make sure that you breathe, you can think properly, strategize, and build that little money that you have. Just like for my auntie, I had the 50,000. I could have paid her, but she could have failed to get the rest of the money, and the business would have also gone down on my end. But I negotiated with her, and I built that 50,000 into millions, and I was able to pay her, and I stood happy. She was happy as well because she was paid with interest, and she made money too. So all of us were happy, and we are cool even today, except that maybe, I don't know whether she's, I think maybe she might have a bit of regret to say maybe I could have been part of this thing that has grown to become big and whatnot. But the point is very simple. You can restructure your debt. Nothing wrong with restructuring debt. It is a very good thing because it can give you space to build on. I hope that helps someone out there. Otherwise, this is the message from Dumisani Lingamangali Ngube, commonly known as the Radical Entrepreneur. I wish you nothing but the best. The future is bright.